From the House Law Enforcement Caucus, New York Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis. Congresswoman, it's good to see you again. Your reaction to the big turnout for the Diller family to back the blue. The funeral procession for murdered police officer Jonathan Diller was massive. Everyone has had it with criminal first policies. What do you think?
Look, it was a beautiful showing of support for his family, who've lost a husband and a son and a father. It's very tragic for the entire city, the entire state, particularly his fellow men and women in blue. But you're right, there is an underlining sentiment here that we have had enough with the pro-criminal policies of the Democrats. I mean, if you look at what's happened over the last couple of years with the bail reform, the raise the age, the less is more act. In fact, New York State Federation of Public Employees actually sent out a note saying that this individual, this perp, Guy Rivera, was on the streets because of the less is more act. That he was on parole and he was his supervised release had finished early because supposedly he was on good behavior, yet he had violated terms of his parole, and so that shouldn't have been the case. But that is another law that Kathy Hochul signed in that has made our streets less safe, and all while you have a mayor telling New Yorkers that everything's fine, there's nothing to see here. But when our police officers are not safe, they are the ones that are tasked to protect us, and if they are not safe, how are the rest of us supposed to believe that the streets of New York City are safe? And They see the stats, they see the stories, and they see the TV news just like everybody else. You can't fool them.
Yeah, but the president has not issued a statement, written or public, or called the family. This after President Biden raised at least $26 million at a celebrity-filled campaign extravaganza Thursday night. That was the night of Officer Diller's wake, Congresswoman. All of that outweighs a call or visit to a New York police officer's family after he was murdered?
Well, obviously, look, the president doesn't have the obligation to go to the wake, but it would have been a nice thing to do. And I think it would have been very much appreciated by the NYPD and all New Yorkers to come to New York City to attend a fundraiser, to raise money for your campaign, to attend a campaign event on Friday and not reach out to the family, not show your support, I think was a missed opportunity, not political, but in terms of the right thing to do as a decent human being. This is a police officer who put his life on the line for this country, our city, and the fact that the president was here in New York City and did not reach out to the family, I think was quite sad, but shows his true colors.
Congresswoman, already the news is coming in. This is a record number. Nearly 100 police officers nationwide shot so far this year. Joe Gamaldi says he's a top police executive. He says that that's one cop shot every 22 hours, Congresswoman. That's far outpacing last year's record numbers. Again, this is the violence that has exploded in America since 2020 in the social justice riots and the no cash bail reform. When you compare the violence in America to now versus pre-pandemic 2019, it has gone up. Watch Officer Diller's widow, Stephanie Diller, here. Let's take a listen.
How many more police officers and how many more families need to make the ultimate sacrifice before we start protecting them? I am so proud that thousands of people across the country are calling Jonathan a hero, but the truth is he has always been a hero to Ryan and me. The rest of the world is just catching up. It's been 2 years and 2 months since Detective Rivera and Detective Mora made the ultimate sacrifice, just like my husband, Jonathan Diller. Dominique Rivera stood in front of all the elected officials present today pleading for change. That change never came, and now my son will grow up without his father, I will grow old without my husband, and his parents have to say goodbye to their child.
Congresswoman, it's hard to see that, right? I have to say this, my family, I hate to bring up personal stuff. This hits home because, my sister's husband is a fireman, FDNY. He dug out his brother-in-law that New Year's Eve after 9/11. Chuck Mendez died 9/11. So when cops are shot, when police officers are attacked, Often the fire departments get hit too. Often they have to deal with rising crime as well. So when you see it, I hate to inject personal family stuff. I'm just saying this because people need to understand, and I know the American viewer out there and the voter gets it and you get it, that when our men and women in blue are on the front lines and they're not protected by elected officials, it makes their lives and their families, for their families, way more dangerous. Your word on this.
I hope every radical left politician in America, especially here in New York, sees and hears those words from Diller's widow, because they are so true. We see this coming. We warn about this. We say that the laws need to be changed, that they have emboldened the criminals. They have empowered the criminals. They've released the criminals back onto our streets. This is preventable, but we need common sense policies that keep the bad guys behind bars, and we need the support for our law enforcement. They deserve more. If they're going to put their life on the line, they need to have the back. We need to have their back, city, state, and federal level.
Congresswoman, thank you so much, Congresswoman Malliotakis. Appreciate you.